네, 오늘 발표 자료를 좀 공유를 하도록 하겠습니다. 수요일 날 영어로 발표할 걸 한번 연습 겸 시행을 해보겠습니다. 아, 네. 첫 번째 슬라이드부터 시작합니다. It has been both a challenge and a joy to prepare this presentation. What I share with you today gathers many of my long-standing concerns and reflections, condensed into this tremendous topic. To be invited to speak at such an important moment and in such a significant forum is my great honor. This presentation will be based on a summary of the discussion paper. If my English pronunciation or delivery is unclear, please refer to my paper for clarification. In preparing, I found myself transported back to my student days here in Sincheon and also in Ann Arbor at the University of Michigan. I recalled my mentors, colleagues, friends, and books and realized that it is time to confront the essential questions about the future of medicine. My mentor, Dr. James Cooperman, pressed me to think deeply about the mechanisms of creativity. Professor Dr. Ungu Lee, the cardiologist, emphasized in his very first lecture that this combination of medical knowledge, intuition, and judgment is termed the art of medicine. Hippocrates long ago described medicine as a contract between doctor and patient. Yet in the 20th century, this contract changed as third parties, including health insurance systems, entered into that relationship. Physicians' strikes and conflict between the profession and governments are not distant phenomena, but very much part of our own history. The mission of Yonsei University College of Medicine is to free humanity from disease with education, research, and service grounded in God's love. I will return to this mission again at the conclusion because it is where the true future of medicine lies. To survey of all of medical history is an enormous task. Given its vastness and diversity by period, specialty, and geography, still let us take a brief journey. Medicine has never developed in a single, novel, or purely generous direction. The question who counts as a hero and who as a villain in medicine is far from simple. To recount the entirety of medical history would be an overwhelming task, for it is a vast field that intertwines countless stories across disciplines, eras, and geographies. Medicine today flows forward as a broad current shaped by these diverse streams of history, making it difficult to reduce to a single field, keyword, or summary phrase. For much of history, the practice of medicine faced institutional and cultural constraints. The European plague outbreaks reshaped history, even helping to spark the Renaissance. Humanity seeks to eradicate disease, yet paradoxically, disease has sometimes driven human progress. Treatments have emerged through observation, accident, and trial and error. Side effects themselves have led to new cures, as in the cases of hydrochlorothiazide and minoxidil. Technological advances have propelled medicine, often through collective rather than solitary invention. The stethoscope, for example, grew from percussion methods and Lannes' experiment at the Necker Hospital when he rolled a notebook into a cylinder and gave it its name. Medicine has always been entangled with politics, physicians striking, or in Korea, medical students at Yonsei University remembered for protecting the late Lee Han-yeol after his tragic wound during the 1987 democratization movement. At times, modern medicine has been criticized for drifting away from holism, becoming preoccupied with visible material change. Even penicillins Penicillin's history shows how fragile discovery can be. Mold's antibacterial properties were documented by Bartolomeo Gaucho, 1896, and Ernest Duchesne, 1897, well before Fleming. Medicine's best intentions have also caused harm. Thalidomide causes congenital defects. Yet today it is repurposed for graft versus host disease. Across 12 decisive turning points in modern medicine, no single common thread is evident, except perhaps urgency in wartime, which drove at least 4 of them. Many other advances seem gifts of nature or sure chance. Selman Waksman himself said antibiotics were purely accidental phenomena. The flourishing of modern medicine rests on this interplay of serendipity and biological mystery. One wonders, without chance meeting of Katalin Karikó and Drew Weissman by a photocopier at the University of Pennsylvania, would mRNA vaccines ever have emerged? Medicine is never isolated. It is shaped by politics, society, diplomacy, and tradition. In China, Mao Zedong's 1980s national health policies ensured the survival of traditional Chinese medicine. Reviewing Nobel Prize in physiology or medicine reveals that no single area, whether infectious disease or medical technology, can be neglected. Yet, no area has been definitively conquered either. Since the eradication of smallpox in 1980 and humanity's continuing struggle with polio, hubris has faded. We no longer believe all infectious diseases will be vanquished. In recent decades, global life expectancy has steadily increased, surpassing 70 years, with the notable exception of the COVID-19 pandemic, which disrupted this trend. Humanity has identified pathogens, developed diagnostics, produced vaccines and therapeutics, and created sophisticated tools for prevention and control. Yet, the outbreak of COVID-19 forced us to reflect once again on the limitations of our preparedness. The flood of evaluations ranging from white papers to parliamentary hearings will eventually strengthen our capacity to face the next disease X. The abundance of recommendations compiled by bodies such as the Lancet Commission demonstrates that medical research and reform remain a continuous present endeavor. Countries around the world are not only rethinking medical research, but also seeking to improve the practice of medicine in clinical settings. The Daju report in the United Kingdom, for example, represents a large-scale consultation commissioned by the UK government to assess the challenges of the National Health Service, published in 2024. It synthesizes collective intelligence and confront perspectives. And by July 2025, the UK government announced new reform measures based on its findings. Nations frequently benchmark their policies against international standards, often citing the OECD average. Yet, such comparative approaches also shape medical research priorities and the allocation of resources. Medicine is influenced by fiscal and insurance policies, sometimes destabilized by political disputes. In Korea, physician-government conflicts have affected patient care. While in the United States, vaccine skepticism, budget cuts, and weakened international cooperation undermine preparedness for future pandemics. At the same time, medicine itself has exercised immense authority over society. During the pandemic, public health measures reshaped daily life, with compulsory vaccination becoming a requirement. Historically, proof of immunization was demanded as currently, and in some cases, premarital sexually transmitted infection testing was required. Today, new threats are emerging: microplastics, gaming addiction, and climate change, and so on. Distrust in vaccines has reached alarming levels, even leading to violence, as illustrated by the shooting incident at the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention recently. We stand at what some call a revolutionary turning point in medicine. The advent of CRISPR-Cas9 gene editing technology raises the profound question: will it enable humanity to advance to the next stage of evolution, or will it unleash an era of bioweapons, eugenics, and genetic dystopias? The possibility of genetically modified humans is no longer speculative. The University of California, Berkeley proudly carries the biblical motto, "Let there be light," Genesis 1:3, a praise that resonates with both inspiration and hubris. Legislators worldwide have imposed severe penalties for unauthorized genetic manipulation and for mishandling high-risk pathogens, reflecting the gravity of these ethical shakes. Today, data is the new key to medicine. High-throughput testing of biomarkers enables precise selection and prediction. Cells are increasingly conceptualized as software, and digital biology is being deployed against conditions like Alzheimer's disease. Advances in genomics, neuroimaging, and computational science have made it possible to analyze the vast data sets with unprecedented speed. The success of mRNA technology cultivated in the innovation ecosystem surrounding MIT illustrates how biology and computing converge. This technology is expected to transform not only infectious disease control, but also the pharmaceutical industry, with an impact comparable to that of the internet. Artificial intelligence has emerged as one of the most transformative and controversial technologies since nuclear fission. AI promises to revolutionize healthcare. Algorithms can detect malignancies in images, predict infectious disease spread, such as avian influenza, optimize influenza composition, and even identify cysts or tumors through ultrasonic analysis of bathwater in specialized tubs. AI is poised to reshape entire health system. In parallel, genomics and synthetic biology expand. Cancer treatment is being transformed by chimeric antigen receptor modified T cells, which represent the frontier of digital medicine. Cancer vaccines are also advancing, especially given the viral origins of many cancers. Synthetic biology pushes medicine even further, attempting to replace failing organs with bioengineered alternatives. The merging of human and machine through brain-computer interfaces represents another bold frontier. Telepathic typing, tactile hearing, and non-invasive neural interfaces are no longer science fiction, but active fields of research. Humanity continues to dream of health longevity, with some envisioning even immortality. Concepts such as telomere preservation, supergenes induced pluripotent stem cells, metformin therapy, precise medicine, and preventive paradigms all form part of the current discourse on extending human life. Medicine stands at a critical crossroads. It is both the guardian of human health and the force capable of reshaping humanity itself. The trajectory we choose toward health, equity, and flourishing, or toward control, inequality, and risk, will define not only the true future of medicine, but also the future of humanity. Now for the future. Perhaps in the future, large-scale hospitals, such as this Severance, may face their decline. Advances in lifestyle medicine and attached medicine will shift medical care into the home or even inside the human body itself. In daily community spaces, especially as the population of older adults and healthy centenarians grows. New professions will emerge. Everyday health managers, much like corporate health officers, expanding the boundaries of medical practice. As space becomes part of ordinary life, specialized fields such as space medicine will be called upon. Medicine will lean over more toward prevention and even extend to regulating emotions, preserving happy memories, visualizing them at will, and using such virtual happiness experiences to protect mental health and prevent self-harm. In this future, medical research and regulation may no longer depend on animal testing or human clinical trials, but on fully virtual experiments. Theoretical time machines could unfold through virtual worlds. What began with images and games may evolve into individual tailored virtual realms of health management, where medical technologies converge with innovations from other fields, expanding the very boundaries of medicine itself. However, a significant challenge remains. When we think about the future of medicine, it is tempting to begin with technologies, discoveries, and innovations. Yet before speaking about tools or knowledge or technology, we must first return to the essence of humanity itself. As posed at the starting point lies, can humans create humans, or humankind is not inherently good? Might gene editing become the means by which dangerous variants of humanity are produced? Do we truly control evolution? Darwin saw in animals breeding the key to how species arise in nature. Dawkins described genes as immortal, building their own houses. If humans design new humans, what separates us from machine? Creation immortality, re-engineering humanity, these are no longer abstract questions, but urgent challenges. Will AI become our personal physician or even the practitioner itself, replacing human doctors? Should medicine prioritize individual autonomy or collective good? As technology advances, we must balance these questions with sustained reflection on human dignity, freedom, and ethics. On imagining the future of medicine, we confront another tension. Will it prioritize the individual or the community? Should emphasis be placed on personal rights, freedoms, and choices, or on the greatest benefit to society? These questions lead to considerations of justice, morality, and even the possibility of liberal eugenics, a marketplace in which individuals purchase superior genes for their children, thereby creating new elites or even subspecies of humanity. The conclusion I reach is this: medicine cannot proceed isolation. Medicine's future requires broad interdisciplinary dialogue, just as biomedical engineering and health policy have already emerged. So too much medicine draw on philosophy, theology, sociology, anthropology, economics, and futurism. Only by grappling with the fundamental questions across disciplines can we chart a balanced future. Ultimately, truth sets us free, and in that freedom, we may envision medicine's future. This truth, however, cannot belong to medicine alone. It must be shared across all fields of human inquiry. Thus, I return to where I began, the beginning of Yonsei University College of Medicine. Medicine shaped by this mission, balancing technology and humanity, will shape clinical practice, policy, and global health for years to come. The unique form of medicine shaped at Yonsei will soon play a role as significant as medicine itself in creating the world where medical practice unfolds. It will serve as the foundation for policies that shape the medical field. A culture of interdisciplinary exchange and periodic collaboration will become the norm. Through the Yonsei brand, the directions and visions emerging from this infrastructure will first provide a path for Korea's future and ultimately inspire people across the globe as together we imagine the future of medicine. 네, 이상의 내용입니다. 시간상 좀 빨리 읽었는데 30분의 시간이기 때문에 실제 발표 때는 훨씬 더 아마 천천히 진행할 수 있을 것 같습니다. 아, 오늘 내용을 한번 유튜브로도 감상해 보시기 바랍니다. 감사합니다.